Season's greetings and welcome to my new channel, AstroIsland. My name is Sherwin Kashi and I created this channel to help many others like myself learn more about astronomy and astrophotography. I live in the Caribbean twin island of Trinidad and Tobago. Allow me to take you on a journey on how I got started on this fabulous hobby. I was somewhere in my mid-20s when I saw a Facebook page post from the National Institute of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology. Yeah, quite a mouthful, but they were also known as NIHST for short. They were having a session when the public could learn about astronomy and view objects in the night sky. This intrigued me immediately and I attended. From there, I met many other like-minded individuals who knew nothing about astronomy but had a keen interest. The evening started off with a brief lecture about astronomy, then they took us to a dark dome that displayed the night sky. During the lecture in the dome, they taught us about the constellations, and what fascinated me the most was that the constellations were moving while the lecturer spoke. I was mind blown. After the lecture ended, they took us outside where they had several telescopes set up. Each of us had the opportunity to see the moon close up, Saturn, and a few star clusters. I was just completely taken aback seeing objects in space close up. After the viewing session ended, I chatted with the lecturer and wanted to find out where I can get or purchase a telescope. She mentioned a store by the name of Knowledge Zone that sold telescopes. The individual at NIHST that started me off on my journey is Sharon Hope Bello. Sharon, wherever you are, immense thanks for setting me on this journey into the cosmos. The next day, I purchased a manual telescope, and of course, as we all know, purchasing telescopes or any accessories that goes with it brings clouds. So I had to wait several days for skies to clear up before I could set up outside. When I finally did get to set up, I struggled for hours trying to see anything. Until while manually swimming, suddenly a bright, white, blurry object came into the field of view and quickly disappeared. Now keep in mind folks, this was a manual telescope that I had to slew azimuth and altitude by hand. I slowly slewed in the opposite direction until the blurry white object was centered. Gently touching the manual focus, I saw the moon close up for the very first time from my telescope. You could only imagine my behavior, screaming like a schoolgirl in the park with excitement. Over several weeks, I continued attending the astronomy sessions, then going home and trying to view them from my telescope. I remember seeing Saturn and Jupiter, and again, each time screaming with excitement. Of course, what no one ever tells you is that astronomy is a positive addiction. I wanted to learn more and I wanted to see more. I don't remember the model of my first telescope, but I again approached Sharon at NIHST, explaining my desire to see much more than what that telescope can do. Luckily enough, she was purchasing some new telescopes abroad for the Science Center and told me she'd be willing to purchase mine, and I paid the difference for a new one. The new one would also be automated. Without hesitation, I said yes. I waited a few weeks impatiently until it finally arrived, which is this bad boy you see right here, the Celestron 130 SLT. The entire setup initially came with an alt-azimuth mount, but I'll get to that in a bit. I'm currently in my 40s, which means I've had this trusty telescope for approximately 15 years. Just to give you some brief details on this telescope, the Celestron 130 SLT has a focal length of 650 millimeters and an aperture size of 130 millimeters. All of the other accessories you see here were purchased over the years as my addiction grew. Then one day I got a letter in the mail that there will be no more astronomy sessions at NIHST. My heart sank and my passion for astronomy slowly died with it for several years. I packed up my telescope and I went on with my life. Then sometime in 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic, I saw in the news that a comet would be visible from Trinidad, Comet Neowise. My passion for astronomy immediately returned. I saw online a few people capturing it with their DSLR cameras. Now where I work, the graphics department had one. So I borrowed theirs and headed to a site that was fairly dark but visible from that location. For those of you who know Trinidad very well, that location was the Temple by the Sea. It's a popular tourist attraction, and as its name suggests, it's a hidden temple built in the sea. While there, I saw a few other people set up with their cameras. Oh, by the way, I knew nothing about cameras, so I asked for help. The photographers helped me out, and one of them told me I should join a Facebook page that has regular astronomy sessions and posts. That page is Carina, also known as the Caribbean Institute for Astronomy, where even up to today I'm a very active member. Oh, and by the way, that night I took about 5 to 10 pictures of Comet Neowise. But what I didn't know was something called stacking, which the graphics team educated me about when I gave them the pictures to process. So that night I captured Neowise, but it was an extremely faint blur when the 5 to 10 images were stacked. But I didn't care. I captured a deep space object for the very first time. Now, being a member of the Carina Facebook page, I started asking a lot of questions about capturing deep space objects. I remember specifically 2 members of the page by the name of Varma Ratag and Isa Mohammed told me I should also join the Facebook page Learning Astrophotography, where experts from all over the world are more or less available 24/7 to answer your questions and to help you learn more about astrophotography. I instantly joined the page and asked probably 2.5 million questions. Each time, someone was always willing to answer my questions. From there, I learned how to use a DSLR to capture deep space objects such as the Great Orion Nebula. Then I learned how to connect the same camera to my telescope, until finally I learned about cool cameras, which is what I use now. Now there's so much more that I could go into, but I'll stop there for now. You probably have your ham and turkey to eat and enjoy. Well, that's it for now in a nutshell. But don't forget to click the bell icon to subscribe and like the channel so you can get updates when I release new videos, which will be very soon. Here's wishing everyone happy holidays and clear skies. But remember, it's not the size of the telescope that counts, it's how you use it. Bye for now.